All right, so buckle up because this one's a doozy. We're diving into a world of celebrity parties, but with a royal twist you might not expect.
Oh, this is going to be good.
You sent over this article about P. Diddy, and, well, let me tell you, it's a wild ride. We're talking about Diddy, the music mogul himself, trying to rub shoulders with actual British royalty.
Yeah, it's easy to see this as just another celebrity chasing headlines, but I think it actually gets at something deeper about the nature of influence, power, and the lengths people will go to attain it.
Okay, so rewind with me for a second. Picture Diddy at the height of his Bad Boy Records fame throwing these legendary parties.
Oh, yeah.
And we're not just talking about any parties. These are the hottest ticket in town, full of A-listers.
Oh, yeah.
And Diddy, according to this article, was obsessed with getting Prince William and Harry in attendance.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. His former publicist actually told the BBC that Diddy was practically fixated on them, like really fixated.
Wow. Okay, so more than just like a casual, oh, it'd be cool to have him in.
Oh, yeah. Way more. He reportedly even had framed photos of William and Harry on display at his house. And not just, any royals, specifically these two young princes. What do you make of that?
It's a fascinating detail, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It speaks to a very, I think, calculated intention. This wasn't just about celebrity for Diddy. It was about aligning himself with a very specific type of prestige, a global iconography that, frankly, William and Harry, especially at that time, uniquely embodied.
Yeah, it's like he saw them as like the ultimate stamp of approval, a way to really solidify his image on a global scale.
Exactly. And let's not forget, this was during a time when William and Harry were at peak global popularity.
Yeah.
They represented this new generation of royals,
Mm-hmm.
modern, cool, with a global appeal that extended far beyond those traditional circles.
Totally. And the article said Diddy was ready to pull out all the stops to get them there. We're talking offering to pay for their flights, 5-star accommodations, the whole 9 yards. It shows you how badly he wanted them at his parties.
Which begs the question, why were William and Harry so important to him? What was it about their presence that he craved? I think this is where we start to see the lines blur between admiration and strategy, between genuine respect and, a desire for what their presence would do for his own image.
It's almost like he saw himself as a peer, in a way, a king of his own domain, seeking the validation of actual princes. It's a fascinating dynamic to think about. But there's another layer to this story, one that takes a little bit of a darker turn.
Oh.
And we're just getting started.
Okay, so where are we going with this?
You see, while Diddy was busy curating this image of himself amongst the elite, there was another side to his world that was starting to emerge, one that painted, well, a very different picture.
A different picture? How so?
Well, we'll get into that.
Right.
And it's not pretty. You see, while Diddy was gunning for these royal guests, some serious allegations were being leveled against him.
Oh, really? Like what?
And these weren't your typical celebrity gossip either. We're talking accusations of a criminal enterprise, sex trafficking, racketeering. This wasn't just a PR nightmare. These were serious legal challenges with potentially life-altering consequences.
Wow. Okay, so this goes way beyond just a few rumors. These are serious accusations.
And those aren't just vague accusations either. The article actually gets into specifics.
It does.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so to be clear, though, at this point, these are allegations, right? Not proven facts.
Right, exactly.
But the fact that they even exist and the sheer number of them, it does paint a pretty disturbing picture that I think we need to unpack.
Absolutely. And that's what we're here to do. So let's get into some of those specific allegations because they add a whole new dimension to this story. So these allegations against Diddy, these weren't just whispers. These were like detailed lawsuits with some pretty serious accusations.
Yeah, like, for example, the lawsuit from the go-go dancer.
Oh, right, who worked many of Diddy's parties.
Yeah, and she accused him of essentially pimping her out to guests at these parties.
Wow.
Even going so far as to allege that he recorded these encounters.
What?
And used them for blackmail.
That's incredibly disturbing.
It is, yeah.
And then there's the lawsuit from the individual who claims Diddy assaulted them at one of his parties when they were just 16.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, these allegations paint a very, very different picture of Diddy's parties than that glamorous image he's so carefully cultivated. This wasn't just about having a good time, If true, these accusations point to a potential pattern of abuse and exploitation.
Right, and I think that's what makes his obsession with William and Harry even more interesting, right?
Right.
Because you have these two narratives kind of clashing.
Totally.
You have Diddy, aspiring peer of princes, right? Versus these really dark allegations.
Exactly. It makes you question the motivations. Like, was he trying to use these connections to project an image that was totally at odds with reality?
Right. Or was it something else entirely, maybe even like a desperate attempt to hold on to a certain image as his world was unraveling?
It's a good question. And it's not just about Diddy, is it? This whole situation really raises questions about the nature of celebrity itself,
Oh, absolutely.
the price of fame, and the systems that often enable this kind of behavior.
Absolutely. It forces us to look beyond the surface, beyond those carefully curated personas,
Right.
and confront the potential darkness that can lurk beneath.
Yeah. And here's something else that's kind of wild. The article actually mentions that Prince Harry's name comes up in one of the lawsuits.
It does. It does. Although it's important to clarify, Harry himself is not accused of any wrongdoing.
Okay, good, good, good. So, how does Harry's name even get brought up in all of this?
Well, he's mentioned in the context of, like, illustrating the types of high-profile individuals Diddy had access to.
So basically using Harry's name as an example of the circles Diddy was moving in.
Exactly, yeah. It's a
Mhm.
small detail, but it adds another layer to the story.
For sure.
Further highlighting that intersection of celebrity and power that we keep kind of circling back to.
Totally. Totally. And it makes you think, what if William and Harry had actually attended one of Diddy's parties?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Right.
It really makes you think, did they have a lucky escape? Or was it something more calculated? Did their advisors pick up on something? Some, like, subtle warning sign?
It's like something out of a movie almost. The royals narrowly avoiding a scandal.
Yeah, perhaps, perhaps. But even if it was just a coincidence, it just highlights the potential pitfalls of fame, right?
Yeah.
Even those at the pinnacle of society, they aren't immune to the risks.
It's true. This whole situation is a good reminder that things aren't always what they seem. It's true, it's true. We often see these celebrities, these like larger than life figures, and it's easy to buy into the image they project, you know.
It is.
But I think this deep dive into Diddy's world has been a stark reminder that there's often a whole lot more going on beneath the surface.
Absolutely. And it makes you think about the responsibility we all have to, like, look beyond the facade, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in the allure of celebrity, to celebrate success without really questioning the cost. But this story, with its stark contrasts and unsettling allegations, it challenges us to think critically, right? About the systems that often prop up these figures, and to really question the narratives we're being sold.
For sure, for sure. You've given us a lot to consider here. We started with Diddy's like almost naive fascination with having these young royals at his parties,
Right.
right? But as we peeled back the layers, a much more, I'd say, complex and frankly disturbing picture emerged.
Yeah, and that's often how it goes, isn't it? The deeper you dive, the more you realize things are rarely black and white.
Right.
There are always shades of gray, hidden motivations, complexities that defy easy categorization.
Totally, totally. Well, this entire situation, I think, is a good reminder that we should always stay curious, you know? Question everything, especially when it comes to those in positions of power and influence.
Well said. And on that note, we'll leave you with this final thought. The next time you find yourself captivated by the allure of fame and celebrity, remember Diddy's story. It's a reminder that appearances can be deceiving, and sometimes the most intriguing stories are the ones hidden in plain sight.
Ooh, I like that. Hidden in plain sight.